Excellent. Thank you very much, Aditya, and thank you for that introduction. Thank you very much for that introduction, Aditya. It was fantastic to see all the energy on the call throughout the quiz just now. It was a fantastic way of having a nice little break, and I'm hoping that everyone has been enjoying so far. I'm going to be working on two screens today, so apologies if I'm looking all over the place. I'm going to just share a screen now so that you can see the presentation that I want to put together for you today. Hopefully that is coming through okay. Just bear with me. Excellent. Well, I very much hope that everyone has been enjoying the presentation so far. Lots of amazing content being delivered. And thank you very much to Datamine Indonesia for inviting us to present Centric Mining Systems to you today. I'm very excited to have the opportunity to connect with you, the Indonesian mining industry. And today we'll be talking about how to optimize your business and facilitate data-driven decision-making. And we'll also be presenting our latest case study on PERSEUS mining. My name, as we said, is Matt Kennedy, and I'll be your presenter today. I'm the General Manager at the Perth office in Western Australia, where I'm talking from today. I've been with Centric now this is actually my 10th year, and my responsibilities have grown over time from initially being an implementer of our product through to I was responsible for the strategic direction of the product itself for some time. And now for the last couple of years, I've been the general manager in this office, looking after all of the day-to-day operations in this part of the world and looking to increase our presence in this region. Just to give you a little background on Centric Mining Systems, we've been in the industry over 20 years now, coming up to 25 years, in fact. Originally, we were founded by Chris Novak, who was a surveyor working in Northern Ontario, and has subsequently worked in mining operations all over the world. When Chris was working in the surveying area, he recognised a need for the mining industry to transform and begin developing new solutions to make not only his job more efficient, but also across the entire value chain. Centric works exclusively with the mining industry. Our company is made up of geologists, engineers, metallurgists. We understand the challenges you may have when it comes to data management, reporting, production tracking, etc., and indeed many other challenges that miners have to deal with day to day. Centric was acquired by Datamine in January 2021, although we still operate as an independent company. Centric and Datamine share a common vision to provide the mining industry with best-in-class technology that pushes them to the forefront of digital innovation. Datamine is a company with profound software and mining experience, and we're very proud to be part of the family. And of course, that family includes a huge array of solutions to which we are happily fitted in with. Centric head office is based out of Sudbury, Ontario, which is about a 4-hour drive north of Toronto, with another fully staffed office located in Perth, Western Australia. We have over 30 implementations globally. We work with all types of clients, be they open pit or underground, many different commodities, precious metals, base metals, gemstones as well. We are not limited to any type of mining method or commodity. Some of our clients that we're managing out of the Australian office include BHP's Olympic Dam, Sandfire Resources, the De Gruisa mine, Glencore, Murrin, just to name a few. With over 20 partner offices worldwide, we can provide support to clients in any region of the world. So what does Centric do? Well, Centric transforms data into opportunities for business improvement and effective decision-making. We do this by integrating your existing systems and processes into a single decision support network. This helps you gain access and visibility to crucial metrics in real time or near real time, depending on your requirements. It helps you to understand what is happening with your business and why, and helps to unveil trends and achieve mine-wide clarity and insight to enhance operations on the fly. Working with Centric, we see a lot of challenges that our clients are facing in the mining industry. Some of these are challenges because we have not adopted new technologies, and some of these challenges are because we have not adapted fast enough. So what we often see is lots and lots of data, whether that's through data acquisition systems or through many different Excel spreadsheets or small systems where people are still manually entering data. And this can cause decentralized data. Every department's doing its own thing, survey, environmental departments, not integrating their data. There's messy spreadsheets, small systems that nobody understands. There's duplication of data. There's information not available in real time, particularly when it's needed, leading to slow decision-making. Centric is getting data from all parts of your business and bringing it into one source of truth. From scheduling and planning data, from the grade control model, from the ERP system to incorporate financials and costing information, from processing metrics, from stockpile management, environmental data, health and safety incidents, we bring everything together into a single source. So at a glance, data enters Centric either through easy integration with your existing systems and technologies or through Centric digital data entry forms. We organize all this data, validate it, provide you with easy access and decision support tools, such as reporting and analytics, metals reconciliation, production tracking, and inventory management. We make all this data available for analysis, and we can even trigger notifications or daily, weekly, monthly reports to deliver automatically. So staying on top of your mining operations becomes much less time consuming and much less effort. Having this information available at your fingertips allows you to make data-driven decisions which lead to better outcomes. Centric is a suite of tools that can help you track and control the entire flow of your mining operations. But Centric was also designed to be scalable, meaning you only buy what you need. Centric offers 4 core modules to which we can build in additional solutions, depending on what your business needs. Centric's Metrics Manager is the single source of truth that takes in data from all your existing systems, organizes it, contextualizes it, and puts it in one place. And it's really the core of our platform. The production tracking tools sustainably collect and report on all the crucial metrics related to mining and gives you the key operational metrics, the decision support tools that you expect. This includes haulage, material conveyance, employee activity, development, consumables, budgets, forecasts, targets, and other mining-related data, including drill and blast metrics. Centric's ore accounting module builds on that to follow the movement of ore throughout the mining and milling process, calculating grade and tonnage changes at every stage. This makes metals balancing and reconciliation an automatic process. This increases the accuracy of your stockpiles and decreases the time taken to collect this information. When done manually, this process can take weeks because it involves many different departments and people. And Centric Analytics is really the cherry on top. With all of this information collected and knowledge being generated, Centric is able to facilitate analytics, both visual analytics and advanced predictive analytics. Centric was developed to be like a toolbox, and this will become more clear as we go through the presentation. Basically, this means that we can incorporate additional KPI tracking around any element that affects your mining operations. We do this through flexible integration, flexible digital data entry forms for users, and flexible analytics on the output side. Literally anything you can measure can be tracked inside of Centric. We see clients incorporating things like weather information, health, safety, environmental data, and of course, cost information from ERPs. All of this information gets integrated in the Centric environment, making reporting more in-depth and analytics even more powerful. Here you can see an example of how Centric can incorporate a breadth of metrics across the entire mining value chain. But it's not just about the ore movements. It's about all the things that affect the performance of your business. Now I'm really excited to present our latest case study with PERSEUS Mining Limited. PERSEUS Mining is a mid-tier gold producer operating in West Africa, while their head office is right up the road from me in Perth, Western Australia. They have 3 mines that are currently in operation using Centric: the Sisingwe Gold Mine and the Yaouré Gold Mine, both located in Côte d'Ivoire, as well as the Edikan Gold Mine, located in Ghana. On average, each site has about 700 members on the workforce, including contractors. And each one of the operations produce in the region of 150 to 200,000 ounces of gold a year. The processing circuit consists of single-stage crushing, SAG milling, gravity, and CIL recovery. The corporate team at PERSEUS Mining had a vision to easily access key metrics from each of their mine sites, while the mine sites themselves needed an uncomplicated way to track and analyze key metrics. As the business grew, so too did the amount of data being collected, resulting in the use of complex spreadsheet-based systems and processes. This caused several pain points that affected the team's ability to make critical decisions regarding daily operations. PERSEUS was mainly using Excel to capture data and build reports, so the focus was on replacing these processes with Centric's digital data entry tools and reports. We also implemented our inventory management and reconciliation tools. So why did PERSEUS choose Centric as a solution? Well, because Centric is a partner, which goes beyond the traditional client-vendor relationship. Because we're truly invested in your long-term success. Our proven technology, the product works. It's a commercially supported program that's trusted by mining companies all over the globe. Our responsive support team is there when you need them with fast response rates. And overall, our expertise. The team at Centric actually understands what goes on in a mine, and not all solutions on the market can really say that. With regards to our implementation approach, Centric would implement in a similar way for all 3 PERSEUS sites using a 2-phased approach. During phase 1, Centric implemented a broad-reaching mine information management system to encompass the mining side of the operation. This including mining metrics, budgets and forecasts, ore haulage, inventory management, reconciliation, including dashboarding and reporting. Phase 2 focused on incorporating the processing side of the business with mill metrics, power consumption, gold shipments, water usage, reagent usage, and we really extended the use of the inventory management and also extended the dashboarding and reporting in phase 2. Using a 2-phased approach allowed for fast project delivery, early engagement with users, which is very important, and would help to keep initial costs low. Centric first worked with the Sisingwe mine, followed by Edikan, and then finished the implementation at Yaouré near the end of 2020. An installation was also made at the corporate office in Perth. With regards to our process, each site required a discovery engagement to ensure that all requirements and expectations were captured. Following this scope process, an off-site configuration period was next, culminating in a site visit to ensure user verification, final remediations, and training before a project go-live date was set. This past year made site visits quite difficult, so most of the final work required for the Edikan and Yaouré projects was done remotely from our office in Canada, including training. Some of the technical considerations we had going into this project included PERSEUS didn't have a fleet management system or process control system implemented. We were integrating with their geological modeling system. We needed a hybrid implementation, which was a mix of on-premise installation and cloud installation due to a lack of stable internet connection in the remote operating locations. And with PERSEUS being heavily dependent on manual data processes, which was previously being done in Excel and creating inefficiencies, also creating great opportunities for Centric to improve. When you're implementing a new solution across an entire business, it involves many different departments and many different users of the solution. So it's necessary to consider the varying needs and the different goals in each of these areas, which is just part of the scoping process. For this presentation, we'll be specifically looking at the project goals and our solutions for the mining and geology teams, the processing team, the management team at the sites, plus the corporate team at head office. For the mining and geology teams, Centric needed to be able to sustainably collect and report on all mining and geology metrics, effectively manage stockpiles using our inventory management tool, improve the grade flow throughout the entire work process and understand how to increase efficiencies, maximize uptime and throughput while balancing against associated costs. And we did that with our configuration. Starting off with bringing in the ore block model through an integration, this is where we source all the design, tonnage and grades to help with the entire ore flow process. We then move into setting up relevant items for calculating the tonnage associated with any movements by incorporating advanced equipment management and truck factors based on both the material type being hauled as well as the source and destination location types. These are set up as time goes by to adapt as the mine moves. And then we move into our digital data entry form, starting with the materials mine form. This is where information is tracked from the ore block to either the crusher or destination stockpile, depending on the current movement. Using the ore block information and the truck factor information, we can calculate the tonnage on those movements as well as the running grades. While users enter the source and destination, and simply along with the number of trucks and the type of equipment, everything else is done in the background by Centric. As that process moves forward, it builds the stockpiles from both tons and grade perspective and allows us to capture our rehandle information, once again using truck factors and based off the movement data that we captured in the material mined form. We're able to have accurate stockpile balances and calculate all our grades and tonnage throughout the entire process. On the crusher feed form is where we capture all the movements from any stockpiles into the crusher. The data is calculated and available through our Centric Inventory Manager tool, and where we can manage the grades and tonnage of stock. We also capture additional metrics at sites such as drill and blast activity, where we can record items like the date of blast, unique blast names, volumes, rates associated with costs for these blasts, and noise production levels as required. Now that all the manual data entry has been done in Centric, we can move into our Inventory Manager component, where users can manually adjust, monitor, and review their stockpile information. Here we can see an example of one of the key stockpiles with an overview summary. They can see the current tonnage, grades, and any specific gravity information being captured. With the stockpile history, you can see all movements on and off individual stockpiles from the beginning of time. All these movements were created from the data entered into the material mined, rehandle, or crusher forms that we saw. Monthly surveys can be added here manually. In the rebuild history, Centric also gives you the option to rebuild stockpiles manually if required, adjust the stock, zero it off, and then run that rebuild. Without manual rebuilding, if you forget to do it yourself, Centric will run that as a background process either every 2 hours or on any schedule that suits your business. The Centric rebuild process will rebalance all movements going forward from the adjusted point. Weighted average grade calculations are used at PERSEUS and are built in to automatically calculate the stockpile grades. This can be changed, however, to last in, first out, or a custom calculation, perhaps including assay results as required. Now we'll go through Centric's F-Series reconciliation solution. The F-factors or F-Series metrics are the closest thing we have to a standard for reconciliation in the mining industry. This information is used by the geology and mining teams to understand the efficiency and accuracy of their processes and to determine where improvements should be made. With all material movements now inside of Centric, we can reconcile and report on the variance of tonnes and grades. For PERSEUS, we provided a full F-series reconciliation process, complete with custom dashboards and visualization tools. The F1 Recon is grade control model to reserve model, where data is imported from both systems to generate this metric. The F2 is material mined versus grade control model, with data coming in from Centric's inventory manager, as well as imported from the grade control model. On screen, you can see the boxes highlighted in green are positive reconciliation, and the boxes highlighted in red are a negative reconciliation. The F3 reconciliation is a crusher feed and ROM versus material mine and rehandle. So this enables comparison of a mine's ability to recover the tonnage, grade, and metal content estimated in all reserves. Moving on to F4, it was the milled and coarse ore stock versus the crusher and ROM. And this will help you quickly understand if the mill is receiving what was expected or not. And the F5 reconciliation is where you compare the results of F1 to F4, and it's simply a summary of factors 1 through 4. For the processing team, Centric needed to be able to integrate each component of the milling operations, including crushers, grinders, SAG mills, flotation circuits, and their interactions. We needed to find opportunities for operational optimizations, enable tracking of all production metrics, easily integrate assay results, and auto-adjust the movement to the mill and the coarse ore stockpile balance. Now we'll take a look at what was implemented for plant. As you can see, the processing team also has their own homepage in Centric and mainly enters key metrics into Centric forms. Daily production metrics for the mill include weightometer values, where the users will enter the wet ton weight, calculate movements to mill and balance out the coarse ore stock. The ore moisture is captured, determining percentage of moisture in the ore, so that in Centric we can dry out the tons, removing the moisture to determine the true weight of material. We also calculate equipment downtime and crusher downtime, which of course affects what the mill can produce. Although you couldn't see that necessarily in that screen capture, we're also capturing on a daily basis anything that a flow meter can tell us with regards to water usage, all the tank metrics, the measurements that are taken, the density, so we know what's in these tanks, lots of assay-related information, tracking samples from the tanks, gold bar pours, bar numbers, calculate the estimated golds, etc. We have also incorporated all of the mill budgeting and forecasts, which has been brought into Centric. On the shipments form is where they track all the bars poured. The next available bar is automatically determined by Centric and set by default logic. You can select the number of bars shipped, and Centric will calculate the weight in ounces for you. Assay results from the refinery can also be entered. And this form also reconciles bar shipments based on refinery data, so we can compare what we think we shipped versus what the refinery reported. The end of month mill entry tracks the final tons milled as well as the grade. Very important for our reconciliation process. The end of month gold in circuit entry form tracks the gravity gold poured, CIL gold poured, and the Boolean reconciliation. And based on these numbers and production metrics entered, we produce an end of month gold in circuit report, a plant monthly report, and variance analysis. For the management team at PERSEUS, the important deliverables were sustainable and reliable reporting tools with simple dashboards and visualization, an auditable and reproducible reconciliation process, which we've already looked at, an easy-to-use Excel plugin, and the ability to make data-driven decisions and keep an eye on the responses in real time. And this was done primarily through the analytics tools, which were custom built. The Centric GM reports were created for each of the mine sites as well as daily, weekly, and monthly reports, which can be accessed anytime and are always updated with the latest information. These dashboards feature quick and easy visualizations of all the relevant information to improve the decision-making process. All of the information is auditable and traceable, and therefore trustworthy. Another way Centric helps provide users that crucial information is the ability to embed our analytics directly into Centric's desktops or home screens. This keeps the most relevant information easily accessible. Items like live stockpile balancing for reporting purposes. And along with the ability to quickly and easily get information out. One way we can do this is with our plugin to Excel. This gives the users the ability to continue to review and format their data in Excel by connecting directly to Centric. The data that comes into Excel from Centric is locked down so that users cannot make changes at this stage of the process. Any changes that need to be made will need to be made back in the Centric application, where all changes can be audited and reasons for the change can be captured. For the corporate team at PERSEUS, the important deliverables were models market visibility of KPIs and operational metrics, the ability to optimize and consistently achieve the best results, empowering decision makers to make decisions with information they can trust. They needed a solution that offered maximum scalability and flexibility. They needed insight into what drives the success, and ultimately predictable performance for investors. Centric used a hybrid on-site and cloud deployment process for the corporate implementation. Each site, Sisingwe, Edikan, and Yare, each have a local on-site implementation. And this was done to ensure an uninterrupted connection, even if they encounter issues due to their remote locations. The information is then integrated from the different sites using our ETL process, which brings all this information into a single cloud implementation for the corporate office. And this is hosted in Microsoft Azure. Most of the deliverables for corporate have been through our Centric data services into Excel, because that's what the CEO prefers. He's very, very hands-on when it comes to his data and reporting. The Crusher Feed dashboard was built to show off the capabilities of Centric, including things like being able to filter on individual sites, change dates, etc., and get an overview of what's being processed. The daily reconciliation dashboard will show what has been fed into the plant, compared against budget from both tonnes and grade information. Again, we can filter by individual sites, showing the month-to-date values. The ore movement dashboard, well, it's pretty simple. It's just showing the aggregated tonnes moved from its in the month. The CEO summary was customized to match the formatting of the spreadsheet being used previously. Helps the CEO to keep an eye on the month-to-date performance and the ounces recovered, and be able to check out basically everything the market wants to know, like how much gold is coming out in particular, and if they're going to make guidance. So if the ounces recovered is lower than what's expected, he's able to start looking backwards to see what the cause is. Is it because we're not getting enough out of the gravity circuit? Is it because recovery percent's low? Is too much going to tailings? Have we crushed enough material? We also built that CEO Golden Circuit report to help replicate the CEO's existing spreadsheet. The outcomes we see with our clients are actually pretty straightforward. We see an increase in efficiency. This is because our clients have a better understanding of how to improve their processes and drive results. We see an increase in agility. The faster we transform data into knowledge, the faster you can make the right decision, and the faster you can take action. We see that using Centric fosters a culture of innovation. We see people asking new questions from their data, questions that we never thought of asking before. And overall, we see improved performance. Data-driven decisions lead to improved grades, increased throughput, and achieving production goals. Here we have a testimonial from David Lotter, the mine manager at the Sisingwe mine in the Ivory Coast. When working with Dave, he commented that Centric was like working with a complete toolbox. When we first started working with PERSEUS, we began with a straightforward vision of implementing a system that would allow the accessible collection of data and reliable reporting to enable data-driven decision-making. But over time, the team at PERSEUS started incorporating more and more functionality into their system. After seeing the results, their vision and understanding of the capability of Centric continued to grow. Since we started working with PERSEUS nearly 2 years ago, we've continued to build Centric into additional parts of the business that went beyond the original scope, which in turn expands the analytical capabilities and possibilities for Centric. Working with PERSEUS, we've built some very innovative workflows and processes that we see as propelling the mining industry forward. Obviously, we're very proud of what we've managed to achieve with them. I'd love to hear from you guys about anything that you've heard today. Very interested to get some feedback. I have had some questions come through both before this session and during. So just bear with me one moment. What I'm going to do briefly is stop the screen sharing so I can see that come through.